and I'll beat the out of every last one of y'all. And I know y'all the traffickers, and I know y'all the traffickers. Y'all come to local places like this to get to traffic with y'all. Y'all think y'all slick as y'all know y'all not gonna call the police because y'all traffic. Y'all know what y'all do.
Like, this same exact thing happened to me in Walmart twice in Dallas. Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Amore Antasia, and this is a storytime video slash an actual event that has taken place in my life this year, and a second time last year. Well, the first time last year at the end, like December, and then again more recently earlier this year. And I saw a clip on Instagram, and so I just wanted to go ahead and share it with you guys, which I just did. And I am going to go ahead and tell my story because a lot of people on that Instagram post think that that's fake, you know, and sex trafficking is definitely real. And I know for a fact that these people were like luring me into a situation where I probably would have been kidnapped also, just because of the probing type of questions that they asked. So let's go ahead and get into this story time slash advice tips on how to not become a sex slave. Okay. At the end of last year and at the beginning of this year, in a Walmart I might as well say it, in Irving. It was in Las Colinas, the only Las Colinas location, and it happened twice, the same person. So like, it happens a lot. A lot of people will try to like come to different stores or malls, and they'll hang around acting as if they're shopping, and they'll just try to ask certain questions to try to like see if they know you, or see if, you know, you'll say that you know them, and they just try to, you know, lure you outside, or sometimes they might try to sell you something, but they're literally trying to kidnap. So one of the incidents, the first time, because in the comments section of the Instagram post, the person was saying like sometimes the people will come in like couples, as like a married couple, to try to make you feel a little bit more comfortable talking to them. So that's what they did. It was an Indian girl and an Indian guy. They did, you know, seem to be married, but at the time I wasn't looking at marriage rings and stuff like that, like, you know, wedding rings. I was just in the store trying to get thick, girl. I was trying to gain weight, so I was doing my meal prepping. And the first time, my mom was with me, so she's just so, my mom is so extra. Sometimes, like, if she sees somebody talking to me, she'll just walk off on me. Like, it doesn't matter if they are a rapist or whomever, she'll just walk off on me. And I'm, of course, at the time I was 28, so of course I'm grown, but you know, I'm a friendly person. I'm a Christian girl, so sometimes I like to take the opportunities to maybe witness to people or whatever. So when she came up to me first, the guy was with her, and she was just like, I know you from somewhere. And I was like, okay, I had literally just moved to well, I was living in Las Colinas downtown, so it was a very nice area full of young business people, or, you know, individuals or whatever. But I was working at Duncanville at the time, so I figured, I was on YouTube also, so I figured that maybe she might have watched one of my videos. So I said, okay, so from where? And she asked me, she said, did you used to live in, I think she said Memphis. Like, it was a place where, I mean, clearly I've lived in Memphis, New York, Dallas, St. Louis, Nashville. So, I mean, take a wild guess, you know, and you probably guessed where I lived before. But when she said it, I was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah. And I remember you from this place or something like that. And I was like, I didn't lie to her, but the second question was kind of off. So, but I couldn't recall, so I didn't want to like purposely lie. So I was like, well, I don't know. But I didn't say I don't know. I just kind of let her think that I was at this place, the second place that she named, and just to see who she was, because I'm like, what? So I was like, maybe so. And she was like, yeah, because I remember you from this place, and we did this and that. And I was looking like, okay, at this point, you have me mistaken. Like, you know, a lot of Indians and white people say that black people look alike, and we kind of do. So I was like, okay, I didn't mention YouTube, so I didn't even give her that ammunition. So she just all of a sudden started asking me like, was I like about being a teacher and stuff, and I was wondering like, how does she know that? So I was like, well, you know, I just moved here, so I know that I don't know you from here or whatever, but I mean, you might have seen me at the high school. We have like the biggest high school in the whole Dallas area. So I was like, okay. And then she was like, so how did you get into teaching? Like, what made you change your majors and stuff like that? And I was like, okay. I was looking for my mother at this point. I'm like, okay, girl, you're doing too much talking. Like, what do you want? Like, I'm thinking that she's trying to sell me something. And like, they were following me. Like, as I was, you know how some people like will literally follow you into a whole nother conversation. Like, they can tell that you're trying to leave and you're ready to exit the conversation, but they'll follow you down the aisle like, no ma'am, you're not, are you paying for these groceries, sis? No, so get on. So I was like, yeah, but you know, I'm busy. She was like, oh, I understand, but listen. And she just kept trying to lure me in. So I was like, no. I just walked off. Like, I didn't mean to feel like treat her as a rude person, but at this point she was just reaching. So I was talking to my mom. My mom was like, girl, I don't have time for them folks, whatever. And so, you know, she was here visiting or whatever, so I just kind of let it go. But I always remember faces. I didn't pay too much attention to him, but I remembered her face. So it's like she didn't want to stop talking to me though. Like, she had a purpose more than just selling me something. Because she just would have said, well, I'm a part of this company. Do you want to do this? You know, so I guess I beat her to that punch. So the second time was earlier this year, and I was by myself. I had just left Ulta, and I was going into Walmart to see if they had a certain foundation that I tried to review, the Superstay. So I saw her like leaving Walmart this time. And it's like she stopped and she was like, oh, are you, I feel like I know you from somewhere. Like, she used the same exact line. And she was like, are you African? Bruh. You know, I was mad about that one. I was like, first of all, now if I would be petty and say, are you from India? Do you own a Subway? Can you hire me? Like, if I was petty like that, you know, I would give her a stereotypical, you know, type of roast like that. But, you know, it's just, I was like, no, I'm not. And she was about to go into the same dialogue. It was like it was a script. So at this point, I just curved her. I was like, girl, no. I didn't even pay attention to if the guy was there with her or not. But it's not coincidental that I meet the same person at Walmart again, and they asked me the same thing, you know? And I could tell that she didn't realize that I was the girl from before. Like, I don't know if she did or not, but I could tell that she kind of didn't, because she would have said, oh, I saw you last time. And I had to catch myself because I was about to tell her, like, I saw you last time. Girl, what you trying to do? But I was like, nah, I don't even have time for this. Like, no. Like, I just didn't have time. I was trying to go home and do some work. I was teaching, so I just didn't have time. But honestly, the first encounter felt really creepy. Like, it felt so weird, the fact that she kept lying as if she knew me. Like, she really was trying to just reach for a place that we had been together. And I'm like, girl, I've never seen you. You're Indian. I would have remembered you. I only see a lot of black people, white people, and Hispanics. I don't see a lot of Indians like that. I lived in, like, Germantown area. Germantown, like on the border of Germantown and Carterville in Memphis. So, I didn't, if you know about Memphis, you know that that's a primarily black city. There's whites there, well, Caucasians, and then there's some Hispanics and Asians. I see more Asians than I do Indians. But in Las Colinas, there's so, you would think that it's a Hispanic because it's Las Colinas, but no, I saw no Hispanics there. It was a bunch of Indians. Like, the stores were owned by Indians. There's just so many Indians. Even our Kroger had a lot of Indian cuisine, which I really liked because I like brown rice and stuff like that, and their spices and stuff. So, you know, they even had the whole, what is the thing, aloe vera. They had the whole leaves or whatever, just all that good stuff. But, you know, I would remember faces, you know, so I was just like, I would remember if I knew you from somewhere, girl. And like I said, I'm a teacher. I work with students, not adults like that. So, no. So, I mean, it just felt weird. And I felt like she was trying to, like, walk away, like, with me towards, like, the door. And especially the second time, she was trying to walk away from the door. Like, I would think if you're going inside of a store and I'm coming out, like, I would think that you would kind of go towards the door or just stand there. Like, why would you be trying to walk into, like, the parking lot? Like, that was kind of weird. And it was, like, almost dusk to dawn. It was kind of almost getting darker in Dallas, so, well, Irving, but it just kind of looked like the situation that was on that video. So, I mean, I didn't have proof or anything like that, but I just had this weird, eerie feeling. I kind of felt like that in New York, too, because people on the streets will talk to you in New York. Like just clockwork. They would just talk to you, so, I don't know. When I get in situations like that, I just always say a prayer and I try to get the heck on, like get out of those situations, like out of that place. And I'm always like careful about my surroundings and stuff, but sometimes when I'm shopping, I just want some food, girl. I'm starving. At this point, I just wanted a 3-piece chicken dinner from Popeyes across the street from the Walmart. So my mind was on that. I was not focused on getting kidnapped, you know? But the average person does not think about that. So if you're young and you're cute, I mean, I like to think that I'm a little cute, you know, just a little. But, you know, those are the girls that they tend to go to, and especially if you're alone. I'm like always alone for the most part because I just am. Like when I get off work, it's not like I have a buddy to go with, you know. And I was grocery shopping, so those are the places that they shop for women at, like Walmart and Target, because that's where single women go for the most part. You know, even married women, they mostly go to the stores alone or with their kids or whatever. But I didn't have kids with me, so you just have to be careful in situations like that. If you do run up on somebody like that, listen, don't go outside. My mistake was like staying outside with that girl. I should have probably gone back into the store, because what I've heard was that they'll lure you to like a car, a random car, and it'll be the getaway car, like, or another van or something like that will pull up and they'll just take you. So, I mean, a lot of people have never been in situations like that, or they don't know anyone personally, so they'll always write that off. But this is annoying me, this light, so please forgive that. But just always be aware of your surroundings, and I mean, it's gonna be too late when it is you at that point. So don't take these things lightly. Always try to educate your friends and stuff like that. And if you can, go to places with friends or people, or just have your brother or sister ride with you or something like that, because this day and age, it's getting worse. Especially like with all this Instagram and stuff, everybody can like locate you. A lot of people like to put their locations on and stuff like that. So you guys just have to be very careful. I would hate to see that happen to any of you all. So share this video, because this stuff does happen. And that situation in the video happened in Buffalo, New York area. And like I said, when I was in New York, I was in Harlem and I was in the Bronx. Like, of course Harlem is in Manhattan, but in Harlem and in the Bronx, like, I had this weird, eerie feeling, like, by myself, you know. Not saying that the city is twisted, but it was just the area that I was in, because I'm always trying to look for the hood food and hood rice and hood pickles and stuff like that. So I probably shouldn't have been by myself in a whole new city anyway. But you just have to be careful, even especially on subways. Like, I would have to get up early to go to work, and the subway would be like clear at like those types of morning, like 3, 4 in the morning and 5 in the morning. So you have to be careful even getting on subways, because those are a lot of scenes where rapes happen or kidnappings happen, because it's just you, and it could be a random guy that just plots on getting on the subway and take your life, you know. So, and in New York, they do not snitch, like, at all. Like, my coworker, she found a crackhead sleeping in her car. He had broke into the car and was in Tremont, y'all. If you guys are from the Bronx, comment below if you're from the Bronx, like across the street from Cortana Park. Those are some, I think, some projects behind there. So my coworker's car was parked on 3rd Street. Do you know that is one of the biggest streets in New York? And the fact that nobody snitched, like, I'm sure all the glass was around the car and this crackhead was just in there asleep, girl. It was crazy. So y'all just have to be careful in these streets. Always stay prayerful and watchful. And that's my video. Comment below if you've ever had anything weird like that happen, or any tips or advice, any like 911 shortcuts or anything like that. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next video.